Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Crazy Samurai Musashi, or I found it on VOD named Crazy Samurai 400 versus 1, which is kind of deceiving because after I looked it up, it looks like he actually defeats 558 of them, so I'm like, lies. But basically, you have this action film that is really famous for the fact that there's a 77-minute just straight action set piece. Just almost. There's some breathers, there's some chatting, there's some smack talking, but mostly 77 minutes straight of just straight up sword fighting. Get your samurai swords ready, because there's a lot of them. And this film is directed by Yuji Shimomura, and you have the story of Miyamoto Musashi, who goes to his old dojo and winds up being attacked by 500 some odd people that he has to fight off. There's a lot of people in this movie of him fighting off sword by sword by sword. And here's the thing. If you're curious and love action, I think this film's worth checking out. If you do not, this literally is just one big action set piece. Yes, they set up a little bit at the beginning. Yes, they explain a little bit about the end. But do you really care? Honestly, this film is just this dude, played by Tak Sakaguchi, who, by the way, is an amazing performer. He went through all of this filming this one giant set piece, still kicking ass all the way through, swinging that sword, just somehow. Now, here's the thing. It is ambitious. It is crazy. It's definitely lower budgeted. There are definitely sequences where the camera's kind of obstructed and basically all you're seeing is his back going and you can't even see who's he's attacking, where everybody is, but you're just set off into these woods and in a small village where it's just non-stop either swiping them in the knee, cutting their throat, bonking them on the head and slicing their cranium open, just slicing them across the gut. There's at one point 12 dudes just start running straight at him and he's dead, 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 dead. And you're just are any of them going to run in a different angle to avoid this? That's the thing. Most of these henchmen that he fights off are stupid. Really stupid. And every so often, you have waves of guys doing the same thing, and then you throw in a couple of bigger heavy guys that have different weapons or more skilled, and they're the mini boss battles thrown in. It feels very much like a video game, and you're just spamming the same moves over and over and over again. And what really bothered me is so many people die here, but you barely see any bodies because somebody gets sliced, should be dead, and they're just and they're rolling around off screen, and then where's their body? Just you should have been dead on the spot. There's also some really bad extras throughout. There's one dude that gets stuck and he's just and just slams on the ground, and you're just what's going on here? And that's the thing. It gets really repetitive and honestly boring after a while. And I love action movies, but it felt the same exact thing over and over and over and over again. And after a while, I'm just I'm done. I would have been okay with 20 minutes of this at most. And they didn't really shake things up enough to make it stand out. And sometimes they switch camera angles. Sometimes you have these aggressive, very in your face close-ups of him getting pumping himself up to continue what he was doing. And you have these tiny interludes where you have a little bit of time to breathe. But then he's back at it again, doing the same kind of thing. I felt like if they had more characters that had a little bit more character in the way that they were fighting to shake things up more and maybe give him a little bit more competition and make it a little bit harder, because basically he was just, and like the only enemy he felt like he could lose to is his stamina, because he was just cutting through everybody, and it's just like, oh my god, after a while you're just like, when's this going to be over with? How do we have this much more of this movie of just this? And it really is. So for me, I feel like this movie, like, you could just throw it on and have it on the background, then every so often notice like, oh, cool action things, because it just recycles the same thing over and over for 77 minutes. It's incredible that they shot this. It's incredible that they were able to make this work. But the thing is, when it comes to the end, Crazy Samurai Musashi or Crazy Samurai 400 versus 1 is better an idea than an executed film experience. It doesn't really feel like a film. After a while, it just feels like I'm spamming playing a video game. So I definitely didn't get as much out of this as I would have liked. But kudos to them for giving this film a try. But those are my thoughts on Crazy Samurai 400 versus 1. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.